I gave him one simple job and he botches it. I'll deal with his incompetence later. I'll take care of this myself.
Long ago, the world was at war. But then the 10 dragons arrived and changed everything. They brought peace to the world and gave us the gift of magic. Those who can use that magic are called sorcerers. But that is about to change. My name is Nova, and this is the story of how I became the first Warlock. Warlock, Episode 6, Prodigy.
After an eventful morning, Indy led Class Red to the dormitory, a large, featureless building on the edge of the training field. As they approached the building, Nova caught up to Ren.
So let me get this straight. These recruits are all sorcerers?
Yep. Just not as skilled as the ones who got into the tower like me and you. Either they don't have enough mist, or they just don't have enough control over their legacies yet. Think of them as level zeros. It goes recruit, then novice, then sorcerer, then master. We just happen to jump straight to novice.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm surprised Zarian didn't send me here instead.
Probably because he sees the same spark in you that I did. Teach may annoy the hell out of me, but he's got a sharp eye.
How long have you had your legacy?
A week?
A week? I've had mine for 6 years and I'm not as skilled as you are. Here, let me get that door for you.
As they entered the front door, the recruits quickly returned to their chores, but their eyes kept darting over to them, weak attempts to mask their awe at the 3 students.
All right, go ahead. But make it quick, will you? We got places to be.
Wow, what a warm welcome.
We've all been glued to our windows all morning. Forgive them for being so excited. Welcome to the dorms. The rooms aren't much, but I'll tell you, the beds, they also aren't much. But it's better than sleeping on the ground.
Listen, by the time I'm done training, I sleep like a rock, so don't worry about me.
You could say that again.
These beds are less than desired. I'm happy I live nearby and don't have to sleep here.
Oh, not up to your taste, huh? You know, I could cover the bed in some moss. Maybe that would make you feel more at home.
I'm not sure there's a pillow soft enough to counter that hard head of yours.
By the way, you two will be sharing a room. I hope that's okay.
Oh, I used to share a room with my brother, so I have no problem with that. Besides, Ren never wears a shirt anyways, so it's not like I'm not used to it.
Ha! Sounds good to me. I'm a great roommate, Twinkles. I'll leave the room anytime you need some privacy. Though I do snore. So, sorry about that.
My roommate does too. Oh, there he is. Emeka, come here.
Emeka walked over to the group. He is a young black man, fairly lean and tall. He has big curly black hair with a streak of white going through it that he tries best to tie back into a puffy bun. He has icy blue eyes that seem to send chills down the spine of everyone he looks at, and a near-perpetual scowl on his face that only makes it worse.
Nice to meet you all. That was an impressive fight out there. Your teacher's pretty incredible.
I knew Zarian was level 13, but I didn't realize he was that strong. It's amazing to have such a strong teacher, even if he does have unconventional teaching methods.
I think they're all a little unconventional. Felix tends to do some off-the-wall stuff sometimes, but it works.
Works most of the time. Some recruits just can't cut it. Felix doesn't pull punches, you know?
Yeah, Zarian doesn't really pull punches either. Literally.
I think we kind of just have to make it so you can actually take a couple of those punches, Twinkles.
Agreed.
So, are you hungry? I think we're gonna grab a bite to eat before class starts back up. We'd be honored if you'd join us.
Indy tends to geek out a little bit, if you can't tell.
I'm just excited.
Me too.
Well, I'm excited for food. How's the grub around here?
Hope you like bland.
Please don't fight the cook, Ren.
Look, whether I do or don't fight the cook is entirely up to them. Lead the way, I'm starving.
Indy led the group to the mess hall, where the rest of the recruits were just sitting down to eat. Ren immediately grabbed a plate and headed to the kitchen with the recruits, returning with a hot meal for all 3 of them.
All right, let's just see how bland this food is.
Thank you for the meal. Emeka, what are you talking about? This is delicious.
Even I'm impressed. The dishes may seem kind of simple, but each of them is cooked to pure perfection. Rather than serving something insane, they decided to perfect the basics. I gotta meet this mystery cook.
Not enough spice for me. If it's not melting my tongue off, it's boring.
Ooh, Ren, give him some of your spice.
Yeah, here you go. Good luck. Even just a small amount will...
Nope. Boring.
Boring! Huh, I get it now. Your taste buds must be broken.
I was taking notes during your sparring match. Your legacies are amazing. We've all seen Briar in action a few times, but those punches and kicks were incredible, Ren. And what is your legacy called, Nova? I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it before.
Oh, I call it Astral Legacy.
Astral. I like it. Is it your mum or dad's family legacy?
Hey, what about you two? What are yours?
Oh, well, mine's called Voice of Empowerment. It's supposed to help people in all sorts of ways, but I can't seem to get it to work all the time.
And mine is called Umbra. I can create things using shadows. Right now, it's only small items, but I'm working on it.
Wait, hang on. Did you just say shadows? You and me are gonna have a little chat later, alright?
Okay.
Wait, where did Briar go?
Oh, she went to sit over there.
Does she always sit off by herself like that?
This is actually the first time I've ever seen her eat on campus.
Yeah, she doesn't usually associate with us recruits. She comes back every once in a while to check on things. I think she feels a little guilty with her mom and all. Or maybe she just wants us to know she's on our side. Either way, I trust her.
Me too. It's well deserved that she got into the tower.
As Briar sat alone at her table, a familiar face approached.
Mind if I take this spot?
Why do I feel like you will, no matter what I say?
Because you're one of the brightest young sorcerers out there.
Well, you have something to say, don't you?
Ah, yes. Cutting right to the chase. Well, I was wondering if you'd consider lending a hand in class the next few days. We've had nearly 24 recruits and we're working on material that you know backwards and front. I could use a second set of eyes.
If we're going to be stuck here until Zarian comes back, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. Besides, it might keep me from dying of boredom.
All right, well, that's the spirit, I suppose. Thank you, Briar. You may learn a thing or two from this experience yourself. Meet me at the training ground after you've finished with your lunch.
As Felix walked off, Briar sat in silence for a few moments before finishing her meal, her mind dwelling on her mother and the terrible things that took place a year ago.
Show them you aren't her.
Twinkles, come on, let's get out there. I'm challenging everyone here to a little sparring match.
Ren, I doubt even you could take everyone here.
Nah, I like my odds. We won't know till we find out.
Let's go, Briar.
Everyone gathered at the training field where the fight took place, restored to its original shape by Felix.
Felix said to meet here, right? I don't see them anywhere.
Suddenly, Nova felt a tug on her wrist as she looked down to see a disembodied hand pulling on her robe. As she looked around, she noticed the hand hovering between each student, pulling them towards the other end of the field.
Whoa, wait. Is the headmaster here?
Twinkles, this is just the mage hand. Everybody can use them. It's not just the headmaster.
Oh, gotcha. Wait, so you mean I can learn how to make a little floating hand, too?
Oh, just you wait. There are a bunch of fun spells I bet we get to learn.
As the students followed the mage hand's guidance, they approached a smaller training ground with odd equipment scattered about. Felix leaned against a post and gave the recruits a sly smile and a wave.
Nice trick, eh?
Maybe if you're 7.
Nova quickly used all her strength to smack Ren square in the gut.
Yeah, spectacular.
Worth it, but ow, my hand.
Yeah, it may not seem like that much to you, novice ranks, but how about this?
Felix twirled their wrist and the mage hand began to cycle through a variety of colors.
I'm sure you've already guessed by now, but we're going to be working on Mage Hand today. This is one of the more basic magic skills. We call it a cantrip. Sorcerers can use these without expending any mist. Most sorcerers can create only one at a time, but a few cases have been able to make 2. Unless you're the headmaster in Oakvale. She can make over 1,000.
Over 1,000?
You see, she wasn't born with a legacy, so she focused all her time and energy on one single spell and made it her own. That's why it's so important to learn the basics. Having a dozen flashy spells you aren't comfortable with won't do you any good against someone who's a master of one. Briar, why don't you demonstrate your mage hand?
Mage hand.
Briar put out a hand in front of her. A spectral hand appeared, barely visible, but with a greenish tint.
Without more training, they tend to reflect your mist. It's almost impossible to make it completely invisible because of this. Now, before we start trying to manifest it, why don't we all try the vocal and somatic movements together? It's going to be a few days before you start to feel the mist forming.
Excuse me, Felix, but like this?
Everyone turned to see Nova, hand outstretched, a floating hand in front of her. A dark form with flecks of gold floating through it, like a clear night sky.
Nova, that's incredible. Is that your first time using it?
Yeah. I just kind of put out my hand and said mage hand. And then it appeared.
She effortlessly moved it around the space, to the awe of the other recruits.
Are you doing this? That's my mist, but the technique is all yours. Your aptness is impressive, even by my standards. It won't be long before you are truly useful to me.
Wait, what?
Ha! Look at that. I told you you were a quick learner. Way to go, Twinkles.
Ugh, I can't believe it.
Briar turned and quickly stormed off into the forest at the border of the training field.
Hey, Briar! Felix, may I be excused for a moment?
Felix gave Nova a small nod, and she took off after Briar.
Hey! Wait! Briar, what's wrong?
Just because we're in the same class doesn't mean I need to share everything with you.
With a flick of her wrist, a vine appeared like a tripwire along the forest floor. It was hardly visible. Recognizing the movement, Nova leapt forward in the air, easily hopping over the vine, and landed right next to Briar.
I was pretty sure you were gonna try something like that. Briar, please tell me what's wrong.
You picked that up so quickly, much faster than I've picked up anything before. I thought things came easily to me, but never like that.
But you already know Mage Hand. You're already level 3 and everyone here knows who you are. So what if I learn some easy spell quickly? I still don't know anything compared to you.
It took me 4 days to learn that spell. It took you, 4 seconds?
Wait, really? Well, I'm sure you can pick up spells in no time now. You must have learned that when you were 8.
Even so, I've underestimated you, Nova. I thought you were a novice, but it's clear you're more powerful than you're letting on.
But I am a novice. You've had your legacy your whole life, and you're amazing. I didn't even have... My legacy didn't manifest until recently. I know that you've gone through a lot to be as powerful as you are, and I'm sorry if that's made you cold. But please, Briar, I just want a chance to learn from you. And with you.
Listen, I've carried the weight of my family my entire life. With my mom, I've had to be strong, prickly even. And I don't want you to drain my energy only to surpass me in everything. I'm smarter than that.
Felix told us what happened. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I know what it's like for family to leave you behind.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, my dad is Nox Ravenwood. He's one of the strongest sorcerers the realm has ever seen. He was even nominated to challenge one of the pillars. But one day when I was 5 years old, he just vanished. My brother Magnus, too. No one has seen or heard from them since.
Now that you mention it, I do remember my mother saying something about that when it happened. I heard they died.
A lot of people say that, but their bodies were never found. And I know they're still out there. They have to be.
Oh, Nova. You know, if your father could see you now, I believe he'd be proud of how rapidly you've grown with your new abilities.
All I want is to become a powerful sorcerer so I can find them and bring them home. I could sense the same determination in you. And that's why I admire your strength so much. If we can't be friends, can we at least be teammates?
I will not hold your hand, but now that I know where you're coming from, I can give you a chance. And if I do my part to help you along the way, Promise me, when you are powerful enough to find your family, that you will help me take down my mother.
I promise. I won't hold you back.
Teammates?
Ah, yeah. Teammates.
Nova swiftly gave Briar a hug. Briar was shaken by the sudden display of affection.
Okay, that's enough. I'm good.
Oh, sorry, should we go back to class?
Let's get back to the others.
The two of them turned to see Felix approaching them.
Nova, mind if I talk to you for a second? Briar, if you wouldn't mind taking over the class for a little bit.
Sure thing.
Zarian said you had a knack for picking things up quickly. I'm impressed you could use Mage Hand on your first try. But he said you were having some trouble with your legacy, is that right?
Yeah. I just can't seem to control it as well as I'd hoped.
I'm gonna have Briar take over the class for the day. I have an idea. If you're game, I think I can help you out.
It's not like Zarian has taught me anything so far, so it's worth a shot.
Zarian is all instinct. I think he left you with me because he knew I could help you out. If you're up for it, why don't we try a few techniques? Are you up to the challenge?
I've got nothing else to lose. Let's do it.
Excellent, let's get to work.
I wonder how Zarian is doing with that fire axe anyway. I hope he's handling everything okay.
Oh, I'm sure he's fine. After all, he was just toying with him in their fight.
Meanwhile, back at the village, Zarian was just closing the cell door on Flint in the local jail, stepping back into the front section of the building.
Oh, excuse me. Now, what were you saying?
We're glad you grabbed this guy. He must be the one behind all the disappearances lately. I wonder why he's not wearing that mask, though.
Mask? Felix mentioned seeing someone in the woods, but they didn't say anything about a mask.
Oh yeah, a stone one or something. We had a couple sightings the last few days by patrols.
I don't like that. I have a feeling we're dealing with a team of X's here. And I have a feeling this isn't the strongest one. He was sent on a mission, is my guess. But by who?
What do you want to do?
I want to get him to Oakvale for questioning, but I don't feel comfortable leaving the village for that long, especially if someone is after Nova.
Can we lend you a hand?
Rick Rivers, legacy, friction control. His legacy allows him complete control over the friction of his body. He is a tall half-elven man with thick, bushy eyebrows, brown hair braided into a knot behind his head, and a vibrant blue sorcerer robe. His hands were stained with something red, and he wasn't wearing any shoes. He carried a blue flag on his back.
Rick? What are you doing here?
Standing in the doorway was Rick, along with Kira, Balthazar, and another student, a preteen boy with brown skin and a large afro. His piercing brown eyes were masked behind a pair of unusually shiny rectangular glasses, but he walked in with a relaxed, carefree attitude that suggested someone who hadn't felt fear in a long time.
What's the matter, Zarian? You think you're the only class that gets to have a field trip? We had to get our third too, so the headmaster asked us to stop out here to make sure everything was okay. Tell me, who's the one-armed fella?
Oh, an X that attacked us at the training center. I managed to take him down pretty easily.
Well, he only had one arm. It's not very fair, is it?
Teacher, judging by the wound, I'd say he recently lost that appendage, most likely from a fire attack. It appears to have been an accelerated technique that released an incredible amount of heat.
Xander Corkstream, legacy, quantum calculator.
That's exactly what happened. You must be the last member of Class Blue.
Correct. I am Xander Corkstream. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Your reputation precedes you, Professor Zarian. I'm disappointed I didn't get to see you in action.
I'm sure you'll get your chance. Just how old are you anyway? You look a little younger than the others.
I'm 13 years old, one of the youngest sorcerers ever accepted into the tower.
Try not to be too jealous that we got a true prodigy in our class.
Hey, don't forget about us. Kira and I can still hear you, you know.
Good. I want you two to push yourselves even harder to reach his level.
Now that we're all best friends, where's Nova and the Cape Boy?
They're hard at work as we speak.
Why don't we stop by on our way out so we can say hi to your friends?
Bah! I wouldn't call those yahoos friends.
Nonsense! You're Oakvale sorcerers. Rivalry is important, but friendship is the bond that ties us together.
I have to deal with 3 more years of this.
Actually, if you're heading back home, can you bring this guy with you? It would save me some time.
Sure thing. In that case, we might crash here for the night, too. It was a few hours out of our way to get here, and I'm sure this rapscallion will slow us down a little bit.
The prisoner would slow us down 25% if he's cooperative, 45% if he is not.
Works for me, I guess. If I had to hear Kira complain one more time about how her feet hurt, I was going to lose it.
Shut your mouth, you brat.
I'm sure Felix would love to meet your class.
The thought of meeting so many new sorcerers. Oh, it's so exciting. I can't wait to take stock of their legacies. Maybe we have time to do a little sparring?
Seems like we're all in agreement here. We'll head there now. Catch you later, Zarian. Alright, let's move, Class Blue. I can't wait to see how you measure up to your classmates.
Please don't make this into a contest. We have midterms for that.
Life is a contest, my fiendish friend. Everything is.
I'm going to stay in town. Please just make sure they don't get into any fights.
I can't promise anything.
Meanwhile, in a cave outside of town, the masked figure presided over a group of bandits.
This is our chance for power. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Although your legacies may be weak, we have the power of numbers. But don't harm the girl. She's coming with me. We will make Foundation bend to our will. Then no one can stop us, not even Oakvale. Soon, everyone will bow to the power of Skarn and his warriors. Prepare yourselves.
Warlock, Episode 6, Prodigy. Nova is voiced by Claire Clausen, Ren and Balthazar by Nick Akins, Briar by Jackie Webb, Indy by Marina Hart, Emeka by Daniel Ole, Felix by Layla Ortiz, Rick by Isaac Otterman, Xander by Jeremy Cobb, Kira by Shelby Hall, Skarn by Matthew Quattlebaum, Mendel and Zarian by Zachary Burrell, with additional voices by Claire Sullivan. Special thanks to Wizards of the Coast. Follow us at WarlockDND on Twitter and Instagram. If you're enjoying the show, please leave us a review on your preferred platform. Thank you for listening.
Next time on Warlock, Nova begins her training with Felix as the rest of Class Red are disrupted by the appearance of Class Blue. Tensions are high while danger lurks in the shadows.
I don't believe we've met, but I wouldn't mind being friends with someone as beautiful as you.
Excuse me?
Ignore him. Episode 7, Master Your Power, Nova's Training. Next time on Warlock.